Okay, here we are at the Great Southern Billiard Tour. We're watching a match here between Abel Ferrer and Justin Lazarro.
I actually believe it's pronounced Lazarro.
Lazarro.
I was just speaking with him. And good afternoon, everybody. You're watching the inside pool video production of the Great Southern Billiard Tour. Stop in Michael's Billiards in Fairfield, Ohio, otherwise known as Cincinnati, if you ask everybody around here.
Sure.
We have an interesting race this morning. Abel Ferrer is going to 7, and Justin Lazarro is going to 9. We're on the one-loss side, and obviously the winner of this moves on, and the loser, I believe, is given 9th through 12th place. I'll have to check the brackets to make sure.
Yeah, we want to thank everybody for joining us out there. We're going to start today off, and we'll be streaming through the evening till probably 2 or 3 in the morning at least before we start tearing down the set. But
well, our two contestants today, where are they from?
Justin's from West Virginia, and Abel Ferrer is from Columbus, Ohio. Town very familiar to me. Get our break speed going here. The wing ball was made.
Well, we got a break speed of 20.58 to lead off the day.
You know what to do out there, people.
Anyway, well, this is interesting. Abel's been moving along in the tournament and has a little following out there right now, being that he's from Columbus, which is a little bit closer than Huntington, West Virginia.
For sure.
We've actually got him, got a lot of people following him and checking his play out this week. Pretty good for being just a 7, a B player, so to speak.
Yeah, I haven't seen him shoot on the TV table yet, but I have seen Justin shoot. And Justin knows how to pocket balls, I'll tell you that much.
Well, he was shooting next to the booth over here the other day.
Looks like he's going to play out a bank here.
Now,
Nicely banked ball.
not a lot's known about Justin, but I guess he's been primarily a player on the Viking Tour. He has about 5 or 6 finishes there where he was in the top 5. And if you watch him play, he's smooth. He's a great ball maker, knows how to play safe. There's a reason he's an A player. I mean, he's earned that.
Yeah, it's not his first visit at the table.
I think we have got a big following out on the chat, it looks like, pulling for Abel. So, we'll pass that along to him, guys. Well, see, here we have Justin taking a look at this shot, and I believe he wants to just float underneath the 9 here and get an angle where he's almost straight in on the 3 into the side. At this point here, this should be a connect the dots, as people would say. He can roll up a hair, stop, do whatever he wants, because whatever angle he gets on the 4, he can work with to be on the 7.
Unless he gets straight in like that.
Oh, well, this isn't that bad. This isn't that bad at all. He's got a direct line into the other corner. Now, I haven't nicknamed this table yet like I did one of the other tournaments that we called it El Diablo, but there's the players, if they don't respect this table now, they'll respect it by the end of the set. It's not the tightest table in the room, and it doesn't have that reputation for being a hard table to play. But trust me, folks, there's going to be more than one ball that you swear is going, and it isn't going to go on this set.
Yep, we've seen a lot of people rattle this shot right here because of the shelf size on these tables, how deep they are.
Clean hit, Beautiful shot, nice touch.
He learned his lesson from last night. You got to play those rail shots nice and easy, or they rattle. People get excited and they start jamming that shot, and doesn't like it.
Yeah, they really do. And you know, it gets a lot of players on the 8 or the 9. We've seen more 9 balls miss because they relax. I don't think they're choking. They relax because they, I make this one all day long, and next thing you know, they haven't made it. I think we watched a match last night. Our last match last night had 3 missed 9 balls.
The same exact shot, going down the rail, into the pocket, rattle.
Now, I'm interested to see slender men, much like Justin here. They usually break the balls fairly well.
He's using the cut break. Yeah, and he's putting some jam on it, which has been going good for him. 20.66 miles per hour. And he did not make the ball.
Yeah, and he's tied up the 5-6. And if you look at this rack, it's really kind of funny. 1, 2, 3, 4 all up top, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 down on the bottom. Now, this is something that the players that are better want to do. They want to set that rack so that they get this, and they make one transition shot. And something tells me that we're going to look at a pattern that's going to include that quite often.
Sure.
Now, Abel fell into the trap of slow rolling that ball down there from the top, and anytime you slow roll that ball and you try and do it from above center, you're probably going to have a little roll across the cloth that's going to let you miss.
Yeah, you got to, this table's playing like a real medium pocket speed on the balls. You got to hit them with a little bit of authority, but, control it as well.
Well, we've already got Justin having to deal with 1 or 2 minor little problems here. He does have a problem from the 2 to the 3, and he dealt with it well, but he could have been a little straighter. Now the problem that he's going to have is the 4. Does he want to break the 5, 6 out, or does he want to go down and get position on the bank? I think a lot of that's going to depend on, well, this. And that was a miss. That wasn't the table this time.
Yeah, he wasn't real stable.
Well, he came up with a really thin cut shot because he got on the wrong side of the deuce. He couldn't get close in on the 3 because the 4 blocked everything on its way to the 3. That might have went on about 75% of the tables in the U.S., maybe more.
Sure. Well, these guys are just getting started. They're on the TV table. I mean, I've heard several times of people saying it makes them a little bit more nervous than when they're just shooting around in their basement,
Yeah, I mean, in the latter scheme of things, you start playing in your basement, then you go to the pool room and you're practicing, and then you're getting in tournaments at the pool room or going to pool league. Eventually you go to one of these regional events, and now imagine the level that you have to be at to get up here and play your game under the lights.
Absolutely.
Knowing all the people online are going to watch your video, and all your friends are there following you. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
For sure. I mean, pool's a very mental game.
Now, what'll happen to a lot of guys is they'll get timid and they'll want to roll balls. Instead of striking them, they roll them, and they'll roll them from the top. And you're going to see a lot of that type of miss. Justin isn't impressed with Abel just yet, and he just tossed him a rather simple shot. He didn't even try and play safe. He just did it. We'd call it a throw-in. Hey, I just don't want to give you something straight in the hole. Go ahead and get out. And, a better player might be putting him down behind a 7, 8, 9 right now.
Yeah.
Abel's going to whack at it, and,
Yeah, I don't like going at that bank coming up out of that like that, unless you're a...
Well, there's the idea that Abel's still in this tournament, and Justin himself, Justin could be pleasantly surprised if he lets Abel keep whacking at balls. Abel just might get in stroke and get comfortable and stop rolling these balls. That's a good play.
What's the move?
I think he actually sees this shot. The move is just to nick the 5 and put the cue on the bottom rail. Now this is a roll-in play. Make him make the shot. If he can hit it. All right.
He went to hit it, and the throw off, the spin threw the ball out off the track. He didn't judge it right. The landing spot.
Now, this is a devilish combination here. This is not as easy as everybody would think, because the 5 ball is going to move on you after this shot. Even if you do make this ball, which I'd say on a scale from 1 to 10, this is about a 3 or a 4 level shot. Now, see how the 5 has moved on him?
Sure.
And there we go. That's exactly why that shot had to be taken into account, be categorized as a little bit more tedious of a combination.
He's going to go with the 9 here, isn't he? With the cue ball is going to travel down table and probably tap into the 9 or close to it.
I truly believe that the shot here is to take the cue right down on the backside of the 9, go 1 rail in between the 7-8, hit the rail, run onto the 9, and bank the 5 across the side of the table. But it requires a little bit of touch. The other side of this coin is you can just tap it and run on and use the 7. Leave the 5 on the top side of the 7 and put the cue on the bottom side of the 7. Kind of like he's doing here.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with this shot here. The only thing that I got to say is he's placed it at a place where half the hits Abel was going to scratch on anyhow off the top side of the 5. But if Abel gets lucky and hits the bottom side of this 5 on the way in or on the way out, Justin does not have to like the results here. He hits it on the way. If he 2 rails, like if he just misses the 5 on the way in, well, look at this. He can see this. He's shooting it, well, you know what? He's going to spin right at it. He's going to come in this way. Oh, well, he can see it. I think that has a whole lot of sellout.
Yep.
Yeah. Farm for sale, 2 horses and a tractor. Yeah, he did not want that result. That wasn't what he saw in his mind. I think he was thinking that he could bend out a little bit with a level type of low masse type of low Q masse / stroke.
Yep, he learned about that lower right-hand pocket there.
Well, just like that, Justin is getting comfortable now. He's past giving up the 2 games. He's past the lights.
Right.
And he's starting to see that, simple safeties that he uses might be able to shut down Abel.
Yeah. He's figuring his game out now, what he's got to do to beat this guy.
For those of you just tuning in, you're watching Abel Ferrer and Justin Lazarro.
Observe.
We're here at Michael's Billiards in Cincinnati, Ohio, hosting the Great Southern Billiard Tour.
Yep.
$1,500 added event. This event is this location is a great location.
Absolutely.
In the booth is Alvin Nelson. I'm J.R. Calvert with Inside Pool Magazine.
Howdy.
Hope everybody's enjoying themselves on this fine afternoon. The weather here is just incredible.
Oh, it's beautiful for Ohio this time of year. We are southern Ohio, so I would assume it's colder up north, but
It's 72 degrees. All right, do we have any prediction on Mr. Ferrer's?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to go with 20.68.
He's using the break from the box.
Well,
19.02. Yeah, you were mentioning about the wood grain on these tables, on the rails. And I like that when I'm playing, to be able to feel like it's like you can grab onto something there. It's not real slick like the newer tables.
yeah, these are Edition 3 diamonds. And the Edition 3,
Nice.
probably came around in the early 90s.
Great
and
table.
I was asking Michael about it because I remember my age, I played on the first sets of diamonds when they were coming out, and the second set and the third set. And there was little things that Greg Sullivan had done while he was tweaking these. And I didn't know which ones I was looking at, second or third, but Mike said that these are definitely thirds, and they play incredible.
Awesome table. I mean, if I could put a table in my house, this would be the one.
Well, I don't know what we're going to call this one, El Chupacabra, what, because it will definitely decide the winner of this event. I can guarantee that whoever gets in the finals will master this table to win this event.
I'd call it the Kraken.
Nice shot.
Bink, he didn't want to do that.
Well, Abel's, he wants to let his stroke out. There's a point in every set where you just want to whack a few balls. Get that tension out and just say, hey, I'm here to play. And he wants to whack a few balls.
That gets you in trouble in this game.
When I would play players and we were on fast cloth, I would do everything I could to make them start rolling balls from the beginning because it would make them, it's a self-perpetuating thing. You feel, you don't get that release of like control that makes you feel strong at the table. You keep rolling and tapping balls, which is horrible. And the lesser player, you could have them 5, 6, 7 to nothing, you know, before they really get to hit a ball.
Yep.
And, you know, that's a simple strategy. And I don't know whether Justin is using it here, but Abel's instinct is to let me hit a ball, darn it, you know, and that's fine.
The great players roll the ball around, man. They don't smash balls.
Well, they use lengths of stroke. They still use the same stroke 90% of the time. But what it is you'll have a soft delivery stroke and a punch stroke. Punch stroke is very accurate. Oh, we're going to get the first call of tournament director Shannon Dalton to come out and watch the hit. Justin Lazarro has requested that we get a referee to watch this hit, which I don't blame him.
And here comes big man now. He's got that strut. That I'm Shannon the Cannon strut. There he is. You're going to see him. There he is.
He's looking at it. He's indicated that it's not froze and that Abel has to be real careful. But let's see whether he can make the 9. Well, I think that's going to be a self-called shot. But I think he was going for the 9 there. I think he wanted to kind of do a little masse trick there.
He looked at his Q-tip when he walked away from the table, so...
Well, he did miss Q, but, you know, the thing is that when you do a masse, his arm was fully extended and on the end of the wrap. If he'd have been towards the forward portion of the wrap, he could have had his arm tucked closer to himself and would have had more control. He'll learn that as he gets further along in his game. Now,
nice and easy.
It looks like Justin is going to just go down to the bottom rail with this and swing with a little bit of English up towards the 8 and shoot the 8 in the upper left-hand corner pocket. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's there. I mean, this shot has been missed on this table more times than you'd ever care to guess.
Yep.
This is where that rail, the tightness of the pocket shows up.
I noticed the final stroke on a lot of these guys. That was a great shot.
Well, he barely made that. I almost thought that was going to stick up because he caught it up the rail about I'd say a diamond.
Yeah, as hard as these tables are.
And just like that, Justin Lazarro is now up 3-0.
All right, I'm going to do the first one of the day. I think that Abel Ferrer is going to be banging his head if he
well, he's got that look.
Together.
He's ready to do some damage here. He just wants to get an out. He wants a gift from the table where he can get an out. Let's see what we got as far as a break, Steve.
Wing ball.
He hit that one a little bit more solid. He came in at around 21.89 miles per hour. I think the results are pretty good. I mean, he has a fairly easy shot to get started with here. You can just hit this with a little bit of high Q, high left. Oh, he ran into the 5. All right. Well,
you don't want to start bumping balls, that's for sure.
Well, he has a problem with the 4-6 down in the upper left-hand portion of your screen there. He may have to play a carom, or he may elect to break them out. Me personally, with the angle that he has, I'm going to play the carom. I'm gonna lay this ball along the side rail because you're knocking the 4 naturally towards a hole with this shot, and you can use speed to control that 4. Now it's how close you get to it, and that's why a player wants to get behind this. A lot of times, a combination can change difficulties, the distance that the cue is from the first ball, because of the way you're going to have to strike the first ball or the cue ball, and how much speed the first ball might have.
Yeah.
Well, he's elected to hit at these, and I don't like that whatsoever, but he's going to get away with it.
He sure came up with a lucky position there.
That was a little bit of a looky what I found.
But,
well, I think he's got 2 straight here, but he'll manage.
It was tough enough just making that ball.
Yeah, but he wanted to be over about another 6 or 8 inches so that he could easily pop out to the center of the table.
Yeah, because he can jam it here.
You can draw the
He did.
And that's the stuff that this table's going to do to you. What happens, how that works, and if anybody's ever played on a tight table, you'll understand this. You start to reassess where you need to be for position, but your instincts, you go ahead and shoot before you make that assessment, and you find yourself realizing that you played position and got it for a shot or a hard shot when you thought it was going to be easy, and now you have to make adjustments, and you'll find yourself overstroking certain shots or needing to overstroke certain shots. Meanwhile, Abel, I think, is in position to pick up his first bead here. He's just a little bit funny here, but I think he'll manage. He'll just draw this back over to the side rail there. He's thinking about it.
It's going to come off the 9.
Oh,
Hit it.
boy, Abel.
Yeah.
Flirting with disaster there.
Yep.
Yay, Abel. All right, 3-1.
And Cthulhu accepts another 9 ball to the deep. All right.
For those of you just tuning in, you're watching the Great Southern Billiard Tour. We're here at Michael's in Cincinnati, Ohio.
We are.
You're watching a race that's a 9-7 race where Justin Lazarro goes to 9 and Abel Ferrer goes to 7. We're on the 1-loss side of the bracket, so the loser of this gets his ticket home, and the winner gets to keep on plugging away. In the booth with me today is Alvin Nelson. I'm J.R. Calvert from Inside Pool Magazine.
Yep. We're listening.
And we're about to watch Abel Ferrer break the balls.
Listening to JR's very good commentary. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know about all that.
I do.
We do what we can.
Knowledge, man. Breaking from the box again. I guarantee he's going to make the wing ball. Nope, he dogged it. Hit him too hard. Scratched.
Well, he hit those at 21.69. So both our players are breaking into 21s.
Justin seemed to be changing his break area around a little bit, and Abel was sticking with the same thing that wasn't working.
Right. See, Abel is still in that position where he's trying to break the balls for speed. He's realizing that there's some control issues. He's also realizing that he needs to learn that, but he can't get that down yet because his stroke is just not that developed yet. Now, everybody's seen great players and that have bad strokes and poor players that have great breaks. But when you really start to look at the people as a whole, generally the better the player, the better his break is going to be because he's just going to have more control.
It's all about control, for sure.
Meanwhile, he's laid these balls out for Justin. The only ball that's going to be a problem is the 7. He's going to have to either go straight down table with a draw stroke or zigzag off the 6 to the 7 and miss the 8. Let's see what he's elected to do. Well, I think we're looking at a zigzag. That 8 is about the size of a basketball now.
And this, you got to first make the shot. This is where everybody's making mistakes, is they're thinking about the leave here when these pockets don't play. And he got it though. I think he's learning.
That was a great stroke.
This program here is learning.
Now, the one thing that you'll see about Justin is he lifts up just a hair. He's already standing up in his stroke a little bit more than everybody else, but he'll lift up every now and then.
Yeah, he does.
And that might cost him a ball or two on this table.
Yeah, I've seen him jump out of some shots already and miss them.
Watch his head. See it?
Yep, even a thousandth of an inch, man, you can miss a ball.
And that makes his score 4-1. Justin Lazarro needs 5, and Abel Ferrer needs 6. What's your predictions on the break? Is
22.
22? Where do you think he's going to break from this
the
time?
cut. He's going to cut break again from the his right side, and he's going to go at pocketing the wing ball.
Now look at the way he's got the 2 in the back, the 3-4, where they're all set. This is by design. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's going to give it about 22. Pockets the wing ball.
22.38.
Nice.
Well, the thing that he did there that was nice is if you look at the rack again, he's pretty much spread it wide open, but he's unfortunately he's got a 5-ball tied up.
Yeah, he's got several balls against the rail, meaning that he hit it at a really hard speed.
Well, he has the 1 and 2 on the same side of the table, and that's what he was going for. He wanted to, if you have the 1 and the 2 down table and you put the cue ball there, that's a great way to eliminate a couple of balls and get off to a running start. Well, looks like he's getting the shot back.
Sure, he can see the whole ball. Yeah, he wanted to make a simple safety there and get that inside to 7.
He
missed it.
He just off by an inch or so.
He doesn't have a real stable stance too, and that sometimes I notice can come into play. A little bit of movement in the legs. Be surprised how I've seen that miss.
Well, I'm anxious to see what he does here. He either needs to make a level 8 stroke, or he needs to play safe, or just plain get lucky.
Yeah,
I think he's going for the level 8 shot here.
Played it good.
See how he'd hit
Probably going to scratch, yeah.
Yep. It's a great shot. It's just that what he needed to do there was hit that with a little bit of inside English. Paces, it keeps the ball from whipping through that corner. It'll slow it down a little bit. It'll, what he wanted to do was hit it a little firmer, so he missed the 7. But with a little bit of inside English, so that he straightened that shot up off the rail. Personally, I'm looking to get position on it. I think I would have really been studying that shot. I don't know whether there was a real possibility for him to pull that off. Is that going to go hang in the side? Oh, it's going to just not get there.
I wouldn't have shot that shot like that.
Well, Abel's looking at cutting this ball down in the corner. He's got to watch, because there's a side pocket over here that has his name on it, even if he does make this cut.
Played that good. See, I don't like running into the 6, but, he made it. gets to the next ball, which at least gives you a chance. You have no chance in your seat.
I'm anxious to see whether Abel's strong suit is his ball making. He's made some pretty nice shots. Now he's bridging with his fingers on top of the rail here a little bit. I never really liked that. But some guys can just get comfortable and make those balls like that. And I think he's going to get a second beat here if he slows down on this 7 and makes sure he knows what he's going to do.
Not get all excited.
See that long bridge?
Yeah, Justin uses a real long bridge too.
Yeah, Corey Deuel used a long bridge.
That's the new famous thing to do.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if I see the tip go all the way back when you're trying to roll a ball in, it's just impossible. It makes you change your mechanics of your swing to hit the ball that soft, and that's why people will miss.
And it appears to be a straight stroke, but if you really observe the stroke, then you see that at the very end of the stroke, there's a little movement to the right or a little movement to the left, depending on if you're a right or a left-hand player.
Well, here we go. 4-2.
Danny Harriman told me if right-handed players, their tip moves out to the right, left-hand players, their tip moves out to the left, the end of the stroke.
Well, think of it this way. If you were to swing your arms in front of you, would they be like G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip and swing with straight parallel to your body, or would they swing together?
Yeah,
they'd swing together. Your biomechanics take those hands together. And when you take that into account, that's the natural angle that your body should be to the stroke. So if your hands come together really close to you, then you're going to have a tight, closed stance.
Nice.
But if they come farther apart from you naturally, then you have more open stance. And that's very important when you're following through. It's going to give you a straight follow through.
Great tip, JR. That's awesome, man. I'm going to use that.
Thanks. And, it's one of those things where if guys use the stick as a reference to play with, they're going to see the follow through when they're making their shot. If you have a straight stroke, you're trying to judge, kind of like you're using the stick as a judgment or an aiming tool to figure out where you're going to follow through to. If you have a straight stroke, it's going to be the same. That's all.
Good lesson. Good lesson.
I hope everybody liked that.
What's your PayPal?
That only took me 10 years to figure out.
Breaking from the box, he must have slug racked himself.
I don't know. He kind of came off of that break a little bit. He missed it.
18.69.
Yeah, he missed that break a little bit with his stroke.
I think he had some space in the rack there that fell apart when he walked away from the rack.
Yeah.
They'll do that. They'll space out. I've seen it.
Table's so freaking fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abel's coming back and letting us know that the table's fast. And it is, folks. This isn't a joke.
No way.
We're torturing these poor guys.
Man, I would not even practice on this table. I tried it the other day. I'm like, forget this. Give me a Brunswick, man.
Get used to it, though. It just takes a little bit.
Yeah, he's come back and let us know that he's getting used to it, and he's settling into the match. Right, at this point here, the match is really a race to 5. So it's anybody's game.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, if I had to get right down to it, if this was a one-game set, anybody could win this between these two players.
Sure. They're starting to get loose and understand the table more, and I think we're going to see a better level of play for the rest of the match from both of them. That's usually how it happens.
Well, Abel plays out of Players Family Billiards in Columbus, Ohio, which is Chris Bartram's homeroom.
The real Bartram.
And he has a sponsor, Marley Custom Cues.
Nice.
And that looks like Pataskala,
yeah,
Ohio.
Pataskala. Mm-hmm.
Trent Cowgill?
Not sure.
Cowgill.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I've definitely heard the name before.
Yeah. Oh, excellent.
Seems like a real nice guy, too.
Actually, really cool dude.
Yeah, seems really cool. Smart, nice guy.
Well, we misspelled his name, and he was really cool about it, so he can't be that bad of a guy.
Yeah, if you didn't get your pool cue cracked over your head, then everything will be all right around here. But yeah, the table, what a nightmare, man. Like I said, I didn't even want to play on it. I hit a couple balls and I put the cue down. I'm like, no, not today.
Well, we're known as, sadistic, cruel people, Put these guys out there on a table that's super fast and.
Well, Dave King, who's helping us out all weekend, he suggested that we set up on table 6. I mean, that was his first pick, and those pockets there are, you couldn't fit 2 balls in them. No way.
Well, this is one of my favorite shots.
Yeah. Not me.
Nowhere to go, nowhere to. I'll be honest. If I'm able in this position, I'm looking for a safety, and I don't know whether there's even a good one. So I would be playing position for a safety on the 6.
Yep.
And this is where a lot of players will start to falter. They'll play. They think that if they're making a ball, they have to play position to make the next ball. And they don't see that they could be playing position to make a safety on the next ball in this position.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't think he got what he wanted, but he still left him, nowhere to pocket the ball, but it's going to give him a chance to duck.
It appears he didn't even have a shot. That's why he was looking at the combo. So he played the right shot either way. He'd have liked to have got the cue over there behind
Right.
One of those balls, the 5 or the 9 or the 8. Me personally, I think I'd have chose behind the 9, but it's just me.
Yeah.
All right. Now, he gave Abel the top rail, which in this position is fairly 6 of one, half dozen of the other. He gave him the side rail also. If he spins this with right-hand English and goes between the 7 and the 8 with a little bit of a bend and hits the side lowest towards the other balls here, he can hit the 5 up table and have the cue go back between the 7, 9 and get a safety.
The 5 ball is about as big as a marble right now, the way it looks to me. But
well, if he goes 2 rails onto this ball and misses the side pocket,
he got it.
He's going to get a double kiss if he comes from that angle, because from where he is hitting, he couldn't shoot past, like the point that he is hitting on the top rail, he wouldn't have been able to shoot past the 5 ball into the hole. So a lot of the hits were going to give him a kiss. He got away with it. It's great.
Yep.
But I wouldn't want to plan a strategy based on that.
No, and he left him a straight in pretty much shot, which
Justin wanted to hit a little bit more top side on that ball. On a fast table, it'll roll down on you when you hit that soft.
He wasn't sure of what he was going to do, I don't think. We're completely sure there. He got that out on the 6 okay. Could run into the 7 here and lose it, but there's several pockets for the 7 to go to. Yeah, he barely missed it there.
I don't think he wanted to do that.
No.
He's walking around the table blowing off a little bit of steam
That's
right
the right
now.
Move.
He's done it. Well, it's not that hard to pick himself up out of this mess. So I think he gets to shoot at the side pocket.
Well, that side pocket.
See how short his stroke was there?
Yeah.
Did you see how that let me know that he was going to hit that ball with a short stroke. He was going to use the same mechanics he always uses, and he wasn't going to drill that 9 into the side. It was going to roll in and drop down.
Players just recently started to use the long bridge, from what I noticed. I watched the old films, and it's a lot of short strokes, like Keith McCready and Earl Strickland back in the day. They had real short strokes.
Well, you have to have them all lengths of strokes, use the same mechanics, and that's the big thing. And scores now 4-3 in favor of Lazarro.
I think the Filipinos probably brought that long stroke into the
Well, it's easy to admire it, isn't it? The results are, incredible. But I think that Abel is taking a short break here, folks.
Abel's taking a break. Gotcha.
Well, what kind of predictions does everybody have here for the break speed? Now, keep in mind that I think Justin is breaking him a little bit harder than Abel right now. And I think that's Abel's, it's his desire to survive that's coming in. He knows that he could probably hit him harder. It's just that he doesn't have the control. And this is a fast table. He's already come over to the booth and let us know, he thinks it's fast, which it is. So, that might make him take a little bit off the break. But I think Justin's probably going to lay us into the 21.5 range here.
I think he's going to click up a notch to 23 because he's been in this chair, and I think he's going to be getting excited to make something here. So
well, hold on here.
Going. $23.13.
Not a bad little break. Good call on that one.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, his results, though, aren't exactly what he wanted. There's a way to get to this 2 and maybe bank it off the rail in the 6 and just stop the cue. Did he catch a rail? Yeah, I guess he's going to. He hit that 6.
Left a tiny bit of a pocket here for the 2 ball, I think, but I would assume that you can't see it. I'm not sure.
I think what we're going to find here is Abel's going to make the 2-6 combination.
Yeah.
Right? And have to follow down. The 5 might keep that 6 or the 2 from getting crazy. He's looking to see if he can make it straight because he wants to stay away from him, but the 5 doesn't go by the 6.
I can tell he's a little jittery right now. Saw his hand moving on the table like that, his finger tapping on the table. He's got a little nerves going on here. Okay, so he was just, man, I want to make this ball.
He may want to make the 5-6 carom. If he can get to the bottom rail, that's not a bad shot because he'd bank the 5 off the bottom rail and back to the side. And the only balls that would be on the table would be the 7, 8, 9, and he'd have a hanging 5 ball, so to speak. Let's see what happens here.
Okay,
he's got enough.
Excited here.
He's got enough room. Well, again, like I said, I think Abel's strong suit is he's a ball maker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a lot of confidence going on right now. I think he really thinks he can make this and get shape and get out here, bring it to a tie race.
I like the way he's pacing himself here, and he's starting to look at this shot.
Yeah.
I mean, he realizes he's going to look at this tape and realize he could have easily played a 6 combination there. It was kind of hanging. I don't know whether he's going to like this. Ooh, he got away with it.
Yep.
He hit that 6 pretty flat, and the cue ball didn't take off on him, but there's about 18 different things that could have happened there that would have been horrible. So.
But you got to take a risk sometime. Risks can be rewarded.
Well, I think that's why he's at this point in the tournament is he knows when to take a chance. He's not afraid to shoot at his hole, as he's shown us there.
Yep, confidence can do a lot for the way the balls move for you. Confidence can give you the jelly roll. Made a nice smooth shot there.
Well, see what he did there. I really like what we're seeing from Abel right now.
Yep.
Abel used adrenaline to get into this match.
Yes, he did.
Just let me hit a ball, let me hit a ball, let me hit a ball. Now he's got comfortable. And now he's able to slow down and control the adrenaline that's going into his body.
Yep, you have to play these pockets just right.
Well, look at the touch that he now is starting to exhibit.
Yeah, he's playing good now.
And I think he's going to follow this ball, come around 2-3 rails, a little bit of high right. Bing, bing.
Yep.
Well, he's, I'm thinking that he would like to have that one as a mulligan.
Yeah.
Look at this. Is he going to end up having to bank this in the side?
The absolute worst place he could be on the whole table.
That was one that he had to think about. See, he needed to English that ball so that he could get it to have a sharper ascent across the table when he came back up table.
He shot it too fast, too. He didn't really look at what was going to happen with the cue ball completely. He just assumed that, hey, I'm going to roll down on the 9 and have a shot down here. He uses the bent arm stroke, similar to Gabe Owen, Shane Van Boning. They have that shooting arm bent.
Well, see, I kind of disagree with that. Buddy Hall
He has a straight arm.
made a point. Well, no, what he just did there. He always was of the type that, boy, you better leave the guy a really hard shot if you don't shoot at the hole with your 9 ball. Look at this. He's going to get away with that. Wow.
Yep. Left a pretty difficult shot on the 9 ball here.
Well, this is a pretty big shot because, let's face it, if Abel makes this,
Yeah.
he only needs 3 games to win the set.
Yep.
And Justin is going to end up needing 5. And I like the way he's getting down. See, the cue ball is hidden, and it's real easy not to see the center of the cue ball. Look at that.
Yeah, he had to hit that perfect, and he sure did.
Wow. Great touch, great aim, showing why he's at this point of the tournament.
Yep, he's starting to come alive. I like it. I think he was watching Justin's game and started adjusting to Justin's game instead of the other way around, what we thought.
For those of you just tuning in, you're watching Inside Pool Videos production of the Great Southern Billiard Tour. We're here at Michael's Billiards in Cincinnati, Ohio. You're watching Abel Ferrer and Justin Lazarro. The score is 4-4, but the race is 9-7, where Lazarro needs to get 9 and Ferrer only needs to get 7. I'm J.R. Calvert. Joining me in the booth here is Alvin Nelson. We're from Inside Pool Magazine, and we're about ready to watch the break
from the
by
box.
Abel.
He's going to keep that same break, go for the wing ball,
Let's
hit
see.
it about 18.
I think we're going to get in the 19 range now. His adrenaline, he's getting
Yeah,
settled
you're
in.
right.
That one had a little bit of power to
Yep.
it.
19.87, you were on that one.
He's getting comfort, and he could be one of these guys that needs to get the adrenaline flowing. And now, keep in mind, folks, this is the first match of the day, and pool players are notorious for not playing their game at the noon or 11 a.m. round. Now, you start watching them at the 1 and 3 range, they're going to start settling in, and Abel might have just needed to get his adrenaline going, wake himself up, he looks slightly athletical.
He needs to stay out of the chair. That's this guy's kind of game. He's got to keep on the attack, because once he gets iced in the chair, his adrenaline goes down, and then he starts.
Well, he attacks the rack.
Yeah.
And Justin plays the rack. Now, a little bit of a difference. One is trying to mechanic it, and the other one's trying to say, hey, I'm just going to do what needs to be done, whatever needs to be done. And that's 2 mindsets. One saying, hey, give me the job, I'll do it. And the other one's saying, no, let me tell you how I want this job to go down. And it's kind of interesting approach. It's a clash of 2 styles.
It is. It's cool. I like it, though. It's great. Great match to watch.
Well, I'll be honest, this one here, a mechanic like Justin, no. He should have this no problem whatsoever. I think if I was him, I would settle in and get this point so that I can kind of get the lead back.
He looks pretty straight in on this, but he does have a small angle to go up to the rails.
One thing I got to say about Justin is he doesn't realize this, but he lifts his head an inch every time he shoots.
Some players do that, and they don't, they just...
I mean, it happens.
They don't realize it. But he cues up real close to the cue ball, which I think helps a lot.
You know what? I was doing it earlier in my career, and I videotaped myself day in, day out until I got rid of it. And it tremendously increased my ability to make the hard shot.
Me too, man. Not what you said, but I do know that I'm very aware of jumping up.
Well, what I found out that I was doing is I was actually getting down into the wrong position. See how he's slightly more elevated?
Right.
Most players want to be in that position and they'll lift up. They want to aim and get down on the shot, but then when they go to shoot, they want to move so that they can stroke the ball properly. And he's already there. That's what I mean. That's what's kind of making it a little bit funny is he's already above the shot quite a bit.
Right.
His head's probably 8 inches, 10 inches off the cue.
He's a tall guy.
Well, it's not that. Some guys will get where their chin is almost touching the cue.
Shout out to my ninjas that play.
Aha.
Gotta talk into that mic right there. Not too close though.
Shout out to all my ninjas at players.
That was Abel. He's getting his groove on now. Well, here we go. And Justin's going to lay down this break.
23.
I think he missed on that one a little
20.
bit.
Yeah, he did. He hit
20.20.
Yeah, he didn't take enough strokes. He hit before he was ready, I think.
You know, and one of the big key things during a break is most people don't realize, but you'll hit the cue ball about 5 or 6 times during a break. And if you look at physics, it takes more energy to break something free and put it into motion than it does to take an object in motion and increase its speed. The coefficient of friction is usually about half of that. And basically what that translates into is that if you have a straight stroke that goes down through the ball and keeps delivering power with every hit, you end up with a massive break. But what'll happen is you'll get breaks like what he just did where he went over top of the ball. And the stick is no longer hitting the ball, so you only get the benefit of that first or second hit, not the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth hit.
Professor JR.
Well, it's one of those things. This game is physics.
Yep.
We got a monster breaker hanging out at the booth here with us doing some commentary this weekend. He was laying down some monsters. Actually won the break contest that we did here. I think he clocked a 30.10 mile per hour break.
Yep.
For anybody that wants to kind of see a great break, go back to our YouTube videos at our YouTube channel, and we'll have that up later. Probably by the time you're watching this video, you can just look up break contest or speed break contest. Or look up Dave King. I'm sure people are going to know how he breaks the balls here fairly soon.
Yep.
Anybody see a difference in Abel? Abel's laughing and joking. He got his, and I love that when a guy gets on himself and get yourself going.
Absolutely.
Get in there and gets that adrenaline rolling.
Wake up, man. Wake up.
He doesn't accept defeat.
Well, he knows also that he only has to win this game and one more game, and he's won the game.
And you know what's nice about that is it's real easy to have somebody say, well, he's a 9 and you're a 7. You're supposed to just take your place. And he goes, nuh-uh.
Yep.
And he just jumps up and does it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Well,
Yep. On Chupacabra table here.
El Chupacabra. And that's a nice touch. I agree with that shot. I like that shot. It let him level out his cue. It was pretty much an easy shot to let relocate.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Man.
El
There it
Chupacabra. I was just going to say, I think he's hitting his ball too hard.
He jumped up a little bit too, but yeah, that's this table, that pocket, that lower right-hand pocket, man.
Folks, I hate to be right, but this is where this table just keeps coming up and slapping people around on the 8 or 9. He actually thought this game was over, and he was just driving that home with a little bit of authority, and he's paying for it.
Can't do that.
He may lose this match because he wanted to drive that ball home with authority. And just like that, instead of it being 5-5, it's now 6-4 in favor of Lazarro.
Yep.
Abe's beating himself up on that one. He's just gonna, yeah, he's smiling. You know what? To him, it's just another beat he has to get. At this point here,
It's the next challenge in the.
he's feeling it. He actually thinks he owns Lazarro at this point. You ask him, that's just one more game he has to win.
Yep, it's no problem.
That's strong mental technique right
That's it,
there.
man.
He's more than just a ball maker.
Yeah.
He's somebody that knows how to get his body to perform. You know, using adrenaline, using mental attitude. He knows how to smack the ball around just to get himself going there physically, so he can gear himself up mentally, gear himself up physically, and now he's ready to go to work.
Yeah, his strong point is not his break, though. I think he's got a lot going on. The break is, and then the end game. End game, you got to be twice as focused on that 9 ball, I think. 3 times as focused. I don't like breaking from the box on this table. I'm not seeing it work too well.
Well, I think he's ready to lay something down here.
19.
20.3.
Hey, JR got it. 21.13.
Oh no, I was
Close
off
to
by
it.
0.8. So, well, let's take a look at his handiwork. He's got all the balls spread out for Justin, and boy, I'd love to get this rack every time I came to the table.
Yep.
The only transition that he has to make is technically from the 5 to the 6 that would be any problem, and now Justin has just made a detrimental error
Bump
and
ball.
ran into the 6. And if he kicks this fast, I predict that it's bad news for him.
Yeah, he's going to put
Never,
it right
ever-
in the hole.
The world treats people that get up and just smack at their
Yep.
kick badly.
Yes, it does.
Poorly, rather. And, you know, he got what he deserved there. He should have taken a look at what his options were and came up with a plan when he kicked. Letting it up to luck.
Yep.
You know, Justin, you're watching this later at home. You should have looked at that kick. I don't think it's going to cost you the match, but I think it might cost you this game.
Yep. You gotta draw out the blueprint before you build the building.
Buddy Hall once told me, he said, if you just let this game up to luck, it'll show you how bad of an idea that is. I think we're at a Cracker Barrel when we said that.
You know you love Cracker Barrel. I do too.
See, that was a nice stroke. That shot there tells me that Abel's ready to do business now.
Yep. He's just got to get through this shot here.
Well,
This is the key shot.
see something. He's gonna have to spin this out of there. Let's see how good he does this. Yep, and that's what gets everybody. That ball will throw on you, and he shot it like it wasn't gonna throw.
Yeah. Well, he lost shape originally.
Well,
Tucked it away.
now I think that if it comes down to it, Abel's going to have to learn how to shoot that particular shot, that throw shot that he tried to get off the bottom rail. But he's been given an easy kick safe here. Shoot between the 6 and the 9, go off the bottom rail, hit the 4 flat in the face,
Right.
maybe a hair to the center of the table so that the cue can float towards the 9, and lay it on down table. Hit it with that speed to take the 4 down table.
Blink.
Okay, he hit it a little bit thin. He got the scratch. He did everything bad. The only thing he needs now is to tie up the 4 and the 6 like he did.
Yep.
I don't think it goes easily. Maybe it does. Justin's taking a second look at it. Guess it does.
He's got to go up table, down table, up table, down table.
I think he's all right here.
Yep. Q's real close to the ball. I like that.
I really like the motion of his stroke.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell that he's got a very polished stroke.
Yeah, he just got that jumpy thing going on, like you're saying. There he stayed down real nice, but I have noticed it too. Or he'll get up. He'll be actually walking away from the shot sometimes before the ball even leaves. Move there.
That was a great shot.
Yeah.
I know it looks like a very simple shot, but on this table, that's why this table's getting the name El Chupacabra.
El Chupacabra. Yep, that one little mistake that Abel made rattling that 9-ball down in that lower right-hand pocket. Really cost him a lot. 2 games now. One mistake. That one mistake can cost you the whole everything.
Well, he's got to get his flow back. He's looking for it. I mean, the thing is that had he not got almost straight in on the 4, I think he's out, and I think we're looking at a basically a 6-5 game. And to Lazarro, that means death, because now he's got to spot Abel a game going to 3. Well, let's see what kind of action we get going on the break here, because I believe
23.
we're going to be in the 23 range. Okay, he went down through he went down through it. This one, if you notice what he did with his Q-tip, it went down to the table this time, and it was a solid hit, but he didn't need to try as hard, and he ended up with that 21.08.
He was digging a corn row. Side pockets are pretty tiny, man.
Look at Abel's mannerisms around the table. Cool, calm, collected. He's got that adrenaline. He's relaxed into his game now. See it? See that chalk? He just sits there and chalks the cue, and he's got that, I'm down to business now. I've got myself geared up for action. And he's got a good out setting in front of him.
Yep.
I mean, this is where, he just has to kill this 3 here. Do not get crazy with the stroke, which he just did. Okay, beautiful. See how short that stroke was, and it was a nice deliver. Well, he has a choice to go down or just try and kill it. I think he's going to go down and back up on this one. And he hit that a little harder than what he wanted, trust me.
Now he's got a back cut down into the corner pocket. Yeah. I got a meeting with the Bobs.
Well, I disagree with him getting right down at this point. He needs to, settle into that shot. You don't just get up after you make a bad shot. He's still beating himself up mentally from that, and he's getting down. He hasn't dealt with that, and certain players don't realize that if you make a bad shot, you're not supposed to just jump right up and kick at a ball. You're not supposed to jump up and whack at this hard shot that you've just given yourself. Getting angry and just doing that, or not preparing yourself for the severity of the shot, is not the way to deal with a 9-ball game, or any pool game for that matter. Meanwhile, back at the ranch,
Definitely.
Lazarro, he's kind of got a little bit of a funky shot here. He's got a 9 on one side and a corner pocket on the other side to deal with.
Yep.
He got around the 9, which is good. Good shot. Yeah, he's looking for the bridge, and yeah, I don't blame him here. Because he puts this one down, he's on the hill, and now Abel will need to win 3 in a row. Not that it can't happen, but the odds suddenly go way into Justin's favor. What do you think he's going to do here, Alvin? How would you play this one?
Nice and easy, man. Nice and easy.
I wouldn't,
Just like that.
you know,
Hit the spot with the cue ball. It's a good one. So Justin becomes the hill that Abel has to climb up.
well,
He's the hill you want to sled ride down in the wintertime.
what? Well, Justin is, he's doing that stare off into space thing in his chair right now where, you know,
Yeah.
he just wants to finish his set now. He wants to put it behind him. He knows he hasn't played his greatest game,
Yeah.
you know, and he wants to get out of it.
Not too bad, though.
Well, what he really wants is he wants Abel to make a couple of more mistakes.
Well, he's going to make one right here because he's going to break from the box, and he's not going to pocket a ball. And he's going to leave a wide open table for Justin.
Is that what you think?
Hear me now, believe me later.
Didn't they say that?
I would be breaking exactly like Justin was breaking from the corner cut break and hitting him real hard.
Well, Abel's missed that. I mean, you know, we talked about that yesterday, is that you have to watch what your opponent's doing because you can learn just as much about the table from you playing as you can from your opponent.
Yep. And the great players will go ahead and watch matches on the TV table and see who's doing what. They won't go playing around signing autographs. They'll sit there and watch matches. I see like Shane doing that. He'll sit there and watch matches watch these guys playing and how they're breaking and stuff.
Well, if they trust a fellow pro not to give them the double steer, they might even ask another pro how the table plays.
Yep.
Most pros, though, are quick to say where the problems are on a table.
Yeah, they know. Like people like Earl and stuff, they know everything about the table in 10 minutes.
Well, I'm hoping that somewhere along the line here he has a good masse because he's trying to masse and hit this ball, and I don't even see if he hits it where this all turns out good.
I don't know what he was doing there, but
Well, it's a heck of a shot on that ball.
yeah, he pocketed.
No, he was trying to masse stroke,
Right.
and it just came up.
He just didn't hit it right.
Little idea. Well, the 3-7 right there on the right-hand side of the table is a little bit funky. Now, if Justin was not trying to 3-foul him, he might try this same shot that he's doing and bank it 2 rails into the 3-7, let it go down table, and he'd keep it the cue right behind the 8,
Yeah, that's a cool shot.
and it opens the table up a little bit. Here, he's
That's what
just
he is.
playing a safety, and
Okay.
look what he's done. He's given Abel pretty much an easy shot here. Even if you are a horrible masse player, I think this is about the size of a grapefruit over there.
That's it.
Well, here's what I like to do with this shot. Exactly. He's going to try and kick at it from if he hits the bottom side of it,
Nope.
it'd be good.
That's the end of the game right there.
Look at that. Hello.
Hey, he did it. Okay, I'll enjoy my foot.
How's that
As I
foot taste?
Chomp on my shoe. A little rubbery.
Well, I think if
too
you're
long.
Justin, you just hit this with a little masse, try and get it behind the 9s, like in between the 9 and the 6 here. You'll shoot towards the 9, masse it back in towards the inside of it, and he'll use that 6 to block this shot. But he has to just nick this ball. Oh, I don't know whether he's doing what I'm saying. Let's see what he's going to do here. Yeah, I don't think he's trying to bank
He's
it.
going to put it behind the 5, the cue ball.
No, he's
No.
he's kind of doing what I
don't
said,
know what
but
that was all about.
not really. You know, that didn't turn out how he wanted, but you know, in all honesty, he's got Abel kind of funky with a bridge,
Being
and
on the 2, getting on the 2 is going to be a little bit difficult.
but if Abel makes this one ball and draws back just fine,
Yeah, and
he's got a problem. Uh-oh.
He came up funny.
Uh-oh.
There it is. The cheese will be shot.
Oh, he's not going to shoot the 2-9 after this. He's just going to
He's
play
gonna finish it
position.
out, huh?
You know, even though the 3's tied up, I think he's going to go down and try and work with it on a safety of some sort.
Yeah, because that combo is not the easiest thing in the world.
Well, then again, what do we know?
Yep.
He's looking at the 3-7 and saying, I'm giving this guy games, and
Yeah,
I've outrun him. And
he wants to finish with snapping the 9. I mean, or with combo in the 9. I mean, that's the perfect way to win a set. You know.
well, it's somewhat of a free shot because the Q's going to stay on the bottom round, the 2's going to go up table, and the 5's going to be playing safe.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see him making it though.
I don't agree with the follow stroke there. I'd have just left the Q right there to make the 5 that giant orange basketball that was playing safe behind.
Yeah, he made the wrong move there. But he didn't
Well.
stroke it with authority. I mean, you want to pop that ball in the hole. You can't give it a chance to sit on the ledge.
Let's see if Abel's just going to shoot the 2 round table and draw his Q back into the 9. He has a pretty decent draw stroke.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could. That's definitely a shot. Throw a heavy duty draw on it. But then you're just, asking for trouble. Especially with Justin on the hill, I think the shot is just make the 2. Play safety. Yeah.
There it is.
Hey,
As advertised.
got lucky. Yeah. All right, so he's up to 5-8.
I think the players are taking a little bit of a break here. Abel knows that he needs to compose himself. He needs to come back and win the next 2 games, and it's his break. I mean, he could set this up to
He
where.
broke last time.
Did he?
Yeah, it's Justin's break.
Oh well. Okay.
What would so shut my mouth and call me? Shoot, I forget what it is. I gotta get a book on all those catchy sayings.
Bob Eucharisms.
Right.
Well, for those of us that are just joining us,
Hey.
you're watching Inside Pool Videos production of the Great Southern Billiard Tour. We're here at Michael's Billiards in Cincinnati.
Yep.
You're watching Abel Ferrer and Justin Lazarro in a 9-7 race with Lazarro going to 9 and Ferrer going to 7. Score is currently 8-5 in favor of Lazarro. I'm J.R. Calvert. Joining me in the booth is Alvin Nelson, and we're waiting for Lazarro to break the balls. Now, he's racked them up, and he's ready to get going, and he'll be doing that here in just a second. Any predictions on this break speed?
Since he's been going lower on it, I'm going to go ahead and go with the 21. I thought he was doing better breaking them harder, but, you know. Dave thinks 22. I got 21. What about you?
I say 22.4.
$21.59.
Pretty healthy hit. Being on the hill, healthy hit.
Shout out to my family too, who's watching. Sorry.
Go ahead, man. It's your show.
She lets me go out and play pool all the time.
That was Abel saying hello to his family.
Well, do you see any problems out there, Alvin?
Just the fact that that pocket that he's shooting into right now with this back cut is being real naughty.
You know,
He made it. He played at the right speed for the back cut. You got to hit it nice and slow.
well, he's going right along the lines of going 2 rails into the 6. Now he should try and get just a hair above the 7, kind of in between the 7 and the 6. If you had a midpoint, go 2 rails right into that by drawing the cue into your lower left-hand corner pocket.
Well,
And when I say draw, it'd probably be more almost a center ball hit.
yeah, you got all that thinking about all that.
I think he's hit this a little hard, and he's going to have to shoot the 6 either on a bank or up in this corner pocket where we're at. He's pretty good, and I'd say that he played for that. I would have probably come a little bit tighter, though.
As long as he doesn't get too hyper here. Jumpy.
You know, he's doing what great players will do. They'll settle down in between each shot
Yeah.
and visualize the shot, recall what the memory that it should feel like, and guess what? Just like that,
Yep. But he's kind of on the 50 with the 7.
oh, he's not on the 50. I think he's more on the other side of where he needs to be. 50 would be over about 5 inches to the left-hand pocket, or left-hand side of the shot here towards the 8. He's going probably a foot too far, in my opinion. Now, he's got a decision whether he wants to run into this 8 or whether he wants to draw and try and come underneath the 8 after it. Okay, ran into the 8, missed the 7. Everything came down to that shot.
Yeah, he wasn't confident with what he was going to do there. I think he only decided on his finishing stroke of how he was going to hit the ball.
Well, if you're able, you have to look at this as this could be your last trip to the table. How do you want to go out?
Put the cue ball down on the bottom rail, put the 7 ball up table by where the 9 is. If there's a way to do that.
Well, there's 2 things that he can do here. He can nick the left-hand side or the lower portion of the 7 ball with high right-hand English and run the cue ball underneath the 8,
Yep.
back underneath the 8, or he can bank the 7 down towards the 8 and just spin the cue
Yep.
ball up by the 9.
That's the easier shot.
That's the easier shot,
Yep.
and there's a chance that you're going to get this. Now, he's in trouble because Justin will see that there's a carom here on the 8
Yep.
and a possible 4 rail for position. You can bank the 7 4 rails, come in and lay it back on the lower left-hand portion of your screen, make the 8, and have the cue sitting there waiting for business. And if you're up 3 games,
Yeah.
you've got a shot. Well, you're not up 3 games, you're up 2 games. Only problem is if you miss it, you set up the dreaded hill-hill match with your opponent breaking, rather.
Well, we are in the bank capital of the world here, so maybe he's going to go for that long bank. I don't know. I've seen this guy bank some balls already. That's what he was going at. And the rails play short on this table, and that ran short there.
Well, he's given Abel the free pass, so to speak.
Yep.
Abel gets to hit this ball with a rolling high left-hand cue. If you miss it, you want to overcut it a little bit. And that ball will bounce back up to where it's at. And you can lay the cue towards the lower left-hand portion of the table. and the 8's just hanging. He missed it thick, and that's usually bad news.
Yeah, I don't think Justin has a full way to make the ball.
He's pretty quick to the table here. I think he does have the whole shot. He just doesn't know what he wants to do with the cue ball afterwards.
Interesting shot there.
Well, unless Abel can make that masse that he's been trying to make all game and not scratch by hitting underneath the bottom of the 7. Now he can hit the side of the 7, but the cue might run into the 8. But if he comes in here, goes off the bottom rail, and hits the 7 with that masse, there's 2 or 3 things that can happen good. For my money, I think I'm going to try and hit the side of the 7, because if you come in too much and hit underneath it, you can scratch going off the bottom of the 7.
Yeah, this is a difficult shot here. A lot can go wrong. Well, I'm going to say that that's probably a makeable ball in the... No, he can't make it in the pocket, but he could kick at it, which the pocket's pretty big for a kick.
I think he can make this ball if he cuts it. He cuts his ball.
Yeah, he's got enough room there. He can throw it in there.
I mean, he also has the option of banking it, of course. I mean, there's enough rail there that he could bank this ball.
Yep.
I wouldn't bank it. I'd go ahead and cut it in.
Yeah, if it's possible to, for sure. It's going to be a tricky shot, though, because I'm looking at the table, and it looks almost like a backwards cut. Yeah, he's not liking it.
No, I like the idea that he's going to come up with a plan.
Yeah.
Well, looks like he's cutting it, folks. Get ready for the ride.
Yep. Stroking it awfully fat. Okay, there we go.
Uh-huh.
It was easier than I thought.
Well.
Came up with a very difficult shot. Now he's not taking his time there. He's just getting down. And
yeah.
there he goes. Now he needs to look at the angle. I mean, he's got to make a heck of a shot here.
If you guys are starting to notice a pattern that if you just get right down after making a bad shot, if you just get right down and start shooting, everybody in the room knows that you're more than likely going to miss.
Mm-hmm. On this table.
Well, anytime.
Yeah.
It's kind of a give up is what it is. You just don't want to see the bad results that you just created, so you try and erase them. And in doing so, you create even a bigger mess. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see Abel lay this safety down. I would love nothing more than to see this cue underneath this 9 after this shot.
He's looking around.
Well, the classic here is to run a flat ball, bank the 8 down to the second rail, run a flat ball, hair of left, zigzag, hit the rail about 1 diamond up from the top left-hand long rail, flop down underneath to the bottom rail, and come underneath the 9. Classic zigzag safety Just imagine that there's a D in between the 2 diamonds or 3 diamonds along the bottom rail, and it's where you want to aim to put that 8 ball.
We'll see if he's going to do what you think he's going to do here. I don't know what that's
about. Well,
it's something. I mean, he's not giving him an open pocket. Maybe there was too much to go wrong with what you were talking about.
Yeah, maybe. I think the shot was there, though.
Yeah. Now he's got a makeable bank.
Well, now it's even tougher. Because if your guy keeps pushing you up table that way, you can't get that 8 ball back down table as much. Now if he does it, he has to leave a long, long, hard shot and still go for the 9.
Yep. I mean, if you're a halfway decent player, you practice this bank 500 times a week. He missed it.
He went for it, and I think he's going to get away with it a little bit here.
Yep, now he's going to set Justin up with the bank.
Well, if you're Justin, believe it or not, you can cut this 8 ball in and run 4.
Yeah, the 8 ball will cut.
I mean, he's a long guy. He can reach out there and stroke this ball. It's going to be a hair of a reach, but I think he's going to go for the cut, miss the 9, and run his 4 rails back along the other way. The only thing he has to worry about here is that side pocket on the left-hand side. If he hits this with a flat ball, if he hits it with a flat ball, that side pocket is huge. Well, okay, he's electing against that, and he's just going to shoot the 8. Like we were saying that, oh my gosh, look at Abel. I think I've never seen anybody run to the table that fast.
He snatched that chalk up, too.
Well, this is the challenge that I was saying Abel might have considered giving Justin, is the long 8, let him roll it on back here.
He should definitely not hit this with bottom English.
No. Spirit in. He wants to spirit.
He did.
You dream about that type of stuff, and he made the 9.
Nice. That's the second flyer he made there.
Well,
I would say it's Hill. I don't know about you. Oops. 6.
Well, one game for it all. We could have just saved ourselves a lot of time and just played one game at the beginning of this set.
Yeah. That was for AJ, he says.
Abel laid that one down for AJ. I'm sure that's a famous guy back at Players Family Billiards in Columbus.
It's funny, I do not know where Players is.
Well, didn't you live in Columbus for a while?
Yeah, I lived there, but I would go to Sportsman's. And
Cornfeds?
Yep.
Dane Clark's place?
And
Yeah.
there's another one, Bank Shop Billiards in Hilliard. I'd go there all the time.
Probably, about 10,000 great players in Columbus nowadays?
Man, there was some brutal action there. Even unknown guys would just stomp people coming into town.
Well, here we go. The break. And I think he's going to,
dog it
judging
again.
the way he shot at that 8 ball and the way he leapt up, he's going for it.
Yeah, see, he's trying to figure out where he wants to. He doesn't know because he's not having any success.
I think he's gonna mangle this one.
22.
Even though he should be playing conservative.
Oh, he played it slow. Almost made the 9. 21.65.
And I think that's his fastest break of the day.
Yep.
And, all the greats, the Buddy Hall, Nick Varners, Mike Siegels, all say that at Hill Hill, you're supposed to just not scratch. And I agree with that, but I also agree with the fact that if you want that set more than the other guy, you're allowed to hit it like you want to, and
Yep.
it always scares me.
You can keep the cue ball on the table.
I don't know how many times I've lost a Hill Hill match because a guy ignored that rule He didn't know it, just got up and mangled the rack and made a ball and ran out.
Wow.
Well,
He's got shape on the one.
there's a 3-9 setting out there that
Sure
I
is.
think that, it's the 900-pound elephant in the room, and Abel's already looking at it. And look at the way he's studying right now.
Yep, he wants this.
Somebody
match.
has a plan brewing, and he's in position, like I said, mentally and physically right now. He's nurtured himself through this set to get to this point.
Yep.
Everything he's done comes down to this next 3 shots.
End
These
game.
next 3 shots. This is it.
This is the end game.
He has positioned himself to be right there for it.
And this is not an easy shot, this one ball. Even though it looks real easy, it can travel off if you're trying to roll up for the 2 or do something funny to get on the 2. Yeah,
That's
good.
about as perfect as he's going to
Yeah,
get. He's going to be
good.
able to move real close to that 3 ball. And this is what I was talking about, like getting close to the 3 ball lets him control that 3 ball and hit it softer and open that pocket up for himself for the 9. If he has to shoot this from where he's at, he has to hit the 3 too hard, and it makes a smaller pocket. And he likes this. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that Abel's going to make this combo.
I don't know. There's quite a bit of space between that 3 and the 9, but the pocket is huge for the 9 ball.
If he takes more than 15 seconds to aim this, he will make it.
Yep.
If he shoots it in the next 15 seconds, he'll miss it.
You're right. Now he lost the game. That's it. Might as well put your cue away.
Now, there's a clearance shot here, even if that ball doesn't go, where you hit straight into the 3, let the 3 and 6 and everything scatter, and the cue follows through the 3 into the 9. So it doesn't matter if this goes. It really matters is whether he can beat this kiss. And I don't think he knows the shot. I don't think he knows this shot. This is a classic shot where you just run the 3 into the 6 purposely, spread the 2 balls around out, and the cue ball follow right in between them. The kiss isn't there either, believe it or not. Everything's going to be up table by the time the cue comes through there. It's just that he's very close to the ball, and it could be very hard.
That's a great shot what you're talking about there. I would not have seen that either. So
Well,
yeah, Abel's not happy. He's giving his cue a little pat on the floor there.
well, he's taking it in stride. He just knows that he would love to have that last shot back.
Yeah, well, win or lose, he played a great match. They both did.
You're watching this at home later. Abel should settle in on that shot and really just go ahead and make that your best stroke. You shot it too quick, and that's fine. It's just you needed to take a little time and get that shot and visualize it several more seconds in your mind. Oh, he's trying to make the 6 go into it. Oh, he got it. He had room, and did he scratch? Oh, my Lord. Abel got a reprieve from the governor. Justin can't believe it. Abel's walking around like, yeah, I meant to do that.
Wow, he thought the match was over. He was walking to shake his hand, and now he's got a chance. I think Justin just gave him the rack if Abel can play this right.
Now, the 8 ball's a funny ball here. See how there's room to make it. All the balls will be going, but you're coming from the 7 up to that 8, which means you're going to have to go 1 rail or 2 rails to get above it into that position. It's not the best.
And this one's going to come down to the last ball, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. This is it's all going to be about the 7 to the 8. It's all about the 7 to the 8.
He didn't need to hit that 3-9 so hard. The 3 only needed to move 6 inches. I mean, you weren't hitting it all the way down to Walmart or anything.
He has already realized that, I hope. But yeah, that needed to be a softly executed shot. Well, more softly than what he did. He needed to get the 3 out of there in case he missed. And there's a lot of room past the 8. for that pocket with the 5. And honestly, if you would hit the 8, I think you have already missed the 5 ball. That's how much room there is. So it's not really impeding the pocket. But this is the shot that sets up the rest of the rack right now, whether he's going to win this set. Now, for my money, I personally like to go 2 rails onto this 8 ball out of that corner. But he may try and go way past the side pocket and get a 1 rail approach to this 8.
I don't like what he's doing here. Hit the bridge out, man.
You know,
You start getting that long stroke, then the end of your cue starts whipping back and forth.
there's ever going to be a time that you're going to get flimsy, this is it. And wow, did he nail that one. He is way out of position.
Yeah, he's playing this wrong.
He's been doing that all day. Now he's in trouble.
He can hit the side pocket, but it's about an inch wide. It'll fit about a millimeter on each side of that ball.
Well, he can hit this with follow 1 rail off and come back over, and it should be natural. I don't like that.
No.
But I think that's his best shot. I definitely wouldn't want to draw this and get underneath the 8 and shoot the 8 past the side pocket.
Now he's got a shot down into the Chupacabra's hiding place.
Well, El Chupacabra is definitely going to determine the winner of this game right now.
Yeah, he's down in the hole there.
Now the 8's about an 1/8 inch off the rail, as you can see possibly on your monitors. It's not froze, so the point shouldn't come into play if you plan and think this shot out. Some guys, they shoot this like, what's the difference? And other guys don't. They freak out and say, I'm shooting past the side.
Yeah.
You just have to visualize that side pocket's not there and that that target is that hole.
You want to shoot at the back of the pocket.
Nice stroke.
Sure.
Wow.
Well deserved. See, now he's got a really tough shot on the 9 ball.
This is not what he wanted, but he's at least smiling.
Well, that's the best way. See him walking around the table? That's exactly what you want to do right now.
This is it, folks. For you young players, right now Abel is preparing himself mentally. He's seeing the shot. And he doesn't want to just let an hour of work up to 1 second of stroke. He wants to know that he's coming up with his best chance to make this.
There's a scratch too. He's got to look out for it. The speed he's got to hit this ball. There's a scratch up in the upper left-hand corner.
Well, it's the side pocket that the scratch is at, and he just missed this ball. Wow. He's beating himself up on that one.
It's going to be the.
No, just so we all understand, this on your home table may be the easiest shot. At Hill on this table, this can be missed.
Yeah, in this pocket. That's going to be the end of the match.
All right, and that's it. Justin Lazarro wins the 9-7 race, score 9-6. Hill, he pockets the 9 ball for the win.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm J.R. Calvert. This is Alvin Nelson.
Yep.
We're here with Inside Pool Video. Thanks for watching. We're going to get another match back coming at you here very shortly. Stay tuned.
Thanks a lot, guys.